Hi, this is a quick demo of my final project called Entitlements. So at work, I'm in a world where we do not have a good system for handling training entitlements. And so we sell online training courses, and a lot of times what happens is people want to buy access to our courses and then distribute that access to their employees. And so we don't have a good way of doing that now, and entitlements is a generic system that's meant to help that out, although obviously it's rough around the edges. So just I want to take you through the workflow. So if I was a person who was trying to sell training courses, what I could do is come over and define some actions, essentially access to the training courses that I want to protect. And so I'll do that, and then I'll show you how users might be able to, or other systems might be able to use that. So first I'm going to create a new user. I'll just be me, Jared, password welcome. And so once I've created the user, I can log in. Now it picks me up as Jared, and I want to create actions that I want to protect. Essentially, I want to protect access to my courses. So I'll define an action here. I'll call it course 1 access. Access to training course 1. When I create that action, it's now in the system, and the system gives me a little URL that anybody can access, and it essentially answers yes or no whether a user going by their username has access to that particular action. And so you'll notice right now the username user doesn't have access. That user doesn't even exist. But even I, Jared, do not have access to perform this action. And so the question is, how do I give someone access and such that they could access the course based on my business rules? And before I finish that, let me just create one more action just to kind of make the demo a little better. I'll create another course access action. Of course, it's going to go slow while I'm recording. So course 2 access. So now I've got 2 actions that I want to protect. And the way I can give someone access to those is by grouping them into a license. And so a license is just an instance of a license type. And the way it works in the system is that I, as the action authority, can bundle my actions into a type of license, and then I can give other people instances of those licenses. And so, for instance, I can come in here and say, all course access, and this is a license type that I'll define, maybe sell for like more money. And the actions that you're able to distribute with this are access to both courses. So when I create that, now I've got this license type, and I can add instances of these licenses and give them to other people. And so let me go through that. I'll click on add, set some dates, when it's going to expire. And for instance, if I want to give this to a trainer at a different company so that they can use this to give to their employees, I could assign it to this owner trainer. Obviously, any user in the system I could assign this to. So when I create this, now I have a license which is meant to guard these actions, or give access to these actions, course 1 and course 2. Now, me being the action owner, I can't actually use this license. I can modify it because I'm the license type owner, but I don't get to use this license. This license is owned currently by the trainer, and so it's up to that trainer user to distribute these actions as they would like. And again, this kind of goes to the thing I want to do at work. So if I log out and then log back in as trainer, now you see that if I was to look at trainers actions, they would be different. They're different than what the user Jared is, because trainer doesn't have access to the course 1, course 2 actions. They're not his actions. What trainer does have is he has a license that he can use to grant entitlements. And so when I go over here, trainer has this all course access license, which Jared just gave to him, and he can use that to assign access to these courses based on based on whatever he chooses here. And so if he clicks on assign, I'm just going to put, let's say he assigns it to some trainee at his company, starting now. When he clicks update, now we see that for this license which he's been given, course 1, he's granted entitlement to this guy trainee. And so if I now look at course 1 here, Jared, the user, is still not authorized, but trainee is authorized. And so that's really the purpose of the system, is such that it's to provide a UI for admins and managers to go in and sort of control access to these things, and also provide a very simple just kind of JSON API that could that our legacy systems could interact against. So if I come in here and assign this to somebody else, now course 1 access, trainee doesn't have it anymore. So that's he's no longer authorized, but Jared does have access. And so that's the main purpose of the system. And I should point out that most of the controllers, most of these objects, licenses, license types, actions, there's controller logic such that you can only modify them or do make certain changes to them if you are the right authority. And so I didn't use the Spring security roles too much. I used more just based on, I use the logic based on the authority and owners of these various licenses and other objects. And so, for instance, if I go in here, trainer is licensed to use license 2, but if I came in as Jared and then went to that same URL trying to use license 2, it says you're not the owner of this license. And so that's kind of the security levels that I put on there. So thanks for listening, thanks for the course, and good luck next semester.